happening, YouTube? Rod J back to take a look at another beer. Thanks for swinging by. I'm going to do something a little bit different. I'm going to take a look at one out of St. Louis, maybe a little company you heard of, Anheuser-Busch and Budweiser. So why am I doing one on Budweiser when I usually do craft beers? Well, I come to realize that not everybody may be a craft beer drinker out there. Some people do like the taste of Budweiser, and for some that might be looking for more of a lower cost for a beer, I figured I'd do a review on some of those as well. So this will be part of a series of beers that I'll go through at periodic times. That'll be more low cost type options. Something like this, a Budweiser, a can of 24 ounces, I believe it is. I think it's like $1.79. So it's a low cost option for some of the people out there that don't want to spend a lot of money on beer. Comes in at 5% ABV, so people tend to enjoy this one as well. Figured I'd go ahead and do a quick review on it. With that being said, pop the top and let's get it in a glass. And this will probably be the only time I think I probably put Budweiser into my Budweiser glass. And you know, I make a lot of jokes about Budweiser, and it's not to necessarily attack them, but just the way they kind of do things as the big boys on the block, the way they kind of come after some of the other craft breweries out there. You know, it's something that I'm not a fan of, and it's something I try not to pay that much money into their system because of what they're doing out there. But at the same point, you have to also know, I guess, thy enemy. So you have to know what they're doing versus the other ones that you may like as well. But there we go. We go ahead, we get into a glass. Started out at 2 fingers ahead. It's already down to 1 finger head, so it does dissipate quite quickly. Head itself is very white head and does have a little bit of rocky action, but it is dwindling very fast, as you can see. Get it to the light. Nice golden straw color that we've come to know Budweiser by. Even out of the light, you still have a nice straw color there. They give you the clarity because it is Budweiser, as you can see right through the camera to see me here. You can see a lot of the bubble action taking place as well. So it does have the lively carbonation, and now it's down to less than a half a finger of head. Go ahead and get an aroma. On the aroma, you get those malts, you get that rice, kind of go through the whole beechwood aging type thing. So the aromas are pretty much distinctive for some of what Budweiser, for what they do. I mean, really on the aroma itself, and it's not to be seen as a negative way, but it's almost kind of like a pissy type smell on the aroma. When you put it up, you know, against other craft beers, I mean, it is what it is, and there's no way to really dress it up. I could go for the whole lipstick on a pig thing, but you know, it's still going to be a pig at the end of the day. You do pick up some of the malts coming out of this one, but again, you are driven by some of the rice as well. As far as the taste, very watery. I would say the body on it is a light to medium body. Obviously, if you have Bud Light, that's going to be more of a light body, but this is light to medium with the 5% ABV. Not really too hoppy at all. They don't list what the IBU are for this, for what they use for their hops, but you really don't get any of the hop bitterness that you come to expect with some of the other craft beers. You do get a little bit of the stinging on the tongue from the hops though, but outside of that, not too much. You get a little bit of a mouthfeel. You do get the taste of the malt still swirling around a little bit in the mouth. But as far as the finish, I will say the finish on the back end, it is kind of a crisp finish when it's done. You don't have much astringency, if any at all, on the back end, but you do taste alcohol coming through, which is something you usually don't want to have on the beer. So that in itself is really Budweiser. If you have any comments on it, put some comments in the comment section with the Budweiser lager. Funny thing about this one is, it's actually listed in 1001 beers you must taste before you die. I don't know why it's in there, outside of it being a major player in the US market and around the world, or if it's something where it's in there because it tells you where the bottom should be. But it is in the book as well. So if you're doing that book and you're following that guideline, drink a Budweiser, mark it off your list, and just move on. Take a look at some of the ratings here. Well, rate beer, not very kind. Overall, it gets a 0. In style, it gets a 3. Beer Advocates is better. It gives them a 58, which is actually awful. Untapped actually has an average bottle cap of 2.46. So some rough ratings out there on Budweiser. I think as a beer, if this was back in the 70s where things were more limited, it probably would do a little bit better. But nowadays, knowing the beer marketplace, knowing how people are out there, it doesn't really hold that well. And so for me to give a rating on this one, but I do think it is actually kind of in that bottom of the barrel type group. So I'm going to actually give this one, a D plus. So not a full D, but a D plus, just because they have a little bit better on the finish than some of the other ones out there. But overall, as a beer and how it compares, it's not very good considering all the options are available out there now. But, you know, like I said, if you're somebody who wants to get a quick buzz, wants to look to save a few dollars, for $1.79, you're getting a 24-ounce can. Get a quick buzz on, then this could be your beer to do that. Because you're not going to want to chug a craft beer. A craft beer you want to sit and enjoy. So if you want a beer you want it down, get the buzz on, there's your Budweiser. Well, with that, I'm going to say cheers. Appreciate you swinging by and check out another video. If you like what you saw, make sure you hit that like button. And of course, if you haven't subscribed already, please make sure you subscribe to stay up to speed on some of the other videos as I release them. Well, with that, I'm going to say cheers, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Budweiser, king of beers. Well, we don't know about that. Cheers.